Alright, welcome back everybody to some more Achaemenid Restoration in Crusader Kings 3. Now, let's continue bullying the declining Roman Empire. I got like about, what, after this one there'll be 3 more counties to eat up. Uh-oh. Great. Hang on, I just heard the telltale sign that my headphones need to recharge, so let me plug this in. Okay. Alright, so I think I ended the last session talking about my amazing ramble about Crusader Kings 2, 3, and Victoria 3. Basically, whoever wins doesn't matter. But I want to talk about my 2 upcoming mods I cannot wait to have the Crusader Kings 3 release, which is Elder Kings and what's the name? Guardians of Azeroth. I cannot wait for either one of those 2 to come out, but I specifically the one I want the most for us is Guardians of Azeroth 2, and that's just because I am or at least was a pretty big, like super big Warcraft fan. Though my little thing, like my info on the lore at this point is a little bit rusty. It's been like quite some time, like since I last, delved into like Warcraft lore. But I was a really big fan of it. Back in the wee old days when I was in middle school when it was released. It was to be a fun old game, and I really liked the story and everything with it. And when I saw Crusader Kings 2 had a mod called Guardians of Azeroth, I downloaded it and I uploaded a couple I should say skirts. I don't know how to call them, just little random multiplayer videos I just decided to take when me and a friend were playing it. But man, I really enjoy that mod just because it allowed me to completely bastardize the lore in ways I always wanted to. Just giving a hell. I got injured, but I'm about to see like the rest of this down. But man, I really cannot wait for that. I know they have like the public alpha build of the mods, but I think I mentioned it before in a previous video. But it's one of those things where it still needs some work. It's been months since I last played it, so I'm sure they did quite a bit on the mod. But man, oh man, when I say I'm super excited for that mod to be released. And I like, whichever one comes out first. If it's Elder Kings first, then okay, Elder Kings, I can definitely get into that. Heck, we're listening to some Elder Scrolls music right now, and if it's Elder, I was about to definitely say Elden Ring. If it's Elder Kings first, I'm cool with that. If it's Guardians of Azeroth, hey, I'm also equally cool with that. I cannot wait for either one of these mods to drop, mainly because it'll add like a different world, new mechanics such as magic, different religions, different political situations like that'll arise from that. I definitely want to fully embrace it. It's just one of those things. I really cannot wait for either one of those mods. Now, I could go on endless rant talking about how Warcraft shit the bed lore-wise, in my opinion, but okay, I might, because it's one of those things where, again, I like to ramble about certain things when I'm a bit excited. It's cathartic for me. It just helps me release stress. I used to love the Warcraft games. Okay, let me give you way long ago in a land far away when I used to just cuss for no apparent damn reason like that right now. But I used to play World of Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft. What was it? It wasn't at release when it was originally out, because I was too poor and I never had laptop. I didn't have a personal computer at the time, so I played it I think if I remember correctly off the top of my head, it had to have been 1 year after what was that expansion? Burning Crusade. It had to have been within a few months to a year after Burning Crusade was released. Because I remember playing Burning Crusade for an entire, like, I swear it must have been like a year or so, like at least a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah, it must have been a year and a half because like I remember I reached like did everything, went to Outland. I was like, oh well, Outland, you can get like a flying mount here, and and there was that Illidan Storm Rage. He's like, you are not prepared, and I was like, oh dang, yeah, it's like, Hellfire Citadel. I remember I hated Hellfire Peninsula. Actually, I liked it. Hellfire Peninsula to me kind of got boring towards the end and stuff, but I really loved Hellfire Citadel dungeon and all that mess. I had some good old times with that, and let me torture you. Sorry, I just want you to be harmed, to possibly die quicker. Oh wait, I got the statue. I didn't get none of the good stuff. You still have some of the good stuff. You bastard. I still want that Seal of Muhammad. Yeah, that torturing was for wasting my time, but I really had fun. I just remember I hated Zangar March. Like after really, I should say, it was more like after you like played a bit in Outland and got to like Zangar March and stuff. That's when the like Outland really, at the time, slowed to a goddamn crawl. But I have fun. I love the initial experience of like the world of Azeroth itself. When you first loaded in, I remember I loaded up the game. I created me a human paladin. I remember you got the World of Warcraft game. It came with a CD box. I always remember seeing that box in the store saying, I want to get that game. I want to get that game. And I finally got it. I opened up the box. You got this thick manual that broke down the characters, even though at the time it was relatively up to date, like with general explanations of like what character classes did and stuff. I remember studying through that manual saying, okay, what do I want to be? Do I want to be a warlock? Do I want to be a warrior? But then I saw a paladin, and it was like, a paladin is a warrior who could use magic and heal himself, resurrect his allies. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So I decided to be a paladin, and I had so much fun with the paladin class. I was a retribution paladin, which was the one that did a lot of damage. Actually, I started out, it was stupid. I started out as retribution, but then I went to protection halfway through, like about when I got to like level 45, 50. I remember I switched to protection to become a tank because, you know, once you become a tank, it's just like, oh, you can just find groups left and right. And I was actually a pretty damn good tank at the time, if I do say so myself. Especially with a paladin, it was like super easy. You just cast like the AoE spell, I think was Consecrated Ground, and then next thing you know, everything is added onto you, and then like you get to switch the auras you had before all that. I was like, oh man, it was so much fun. I just loved like the world of Azeroth, like the world of Warcraft itself was such an interesting world to like go around, explore, like because in the game it was like, think about it like this: the world at the time, I'm sure like games are much larger now, like certain games are much larger, but it was such a huge open world experience. And the fact that I never really played MMO before, I'm like this like introverted bastard that I'm mostly I'm mostly over it now, but back then I was like really introverted. And again, it gave me some time to like say, hey, like, you know, I could play World of Warcraft and I could actually have conversations with people. We have like things like, oh yeah, do you want to go to Dead Mines and this and that and all that good stuff. I was like, woo. What was that bullshit dungeon? I remember, like, I don't know why I called it a bullshit dungeon. It's just the name. It was called Razorfin Downs or something like that. And then I remember, what was that? There was this one dungeon I thought was so cool. At the Shadowfang Keep. That's the one I was thinking of. I remember Shadowfang Keep. I really love that dungeon and the lore behind it. It was like, oh, whoa, you go to Shadowfang Keep and it's like full of like monsters and stuff that have taken over. And I was like, oh, like, man, that's cool. Listen, how far can I go making them scream? Are you my executioner? Oh. It's like, who the hell is this? Anything to extract a confession. Okay, there you go. Yes, torture people with my blessing. But I was like, man, this is awesome. Then the Scarlet Monastery, that was another one I love. The Scarlet Monastery and then the Scarlet Crusade. It's like, oh man. I remember Scarlet Monastery, it was one of those things everyone had to really be careful on their pulls, because if you messed up on the pulls, every damn thing in the dungeon would be aggro to you and you all get wiped. And then I remember at the time when I was playing as a hunter, I was like, oh, hell's breaking loose, because guess what? The tank couldn't keep his damn shit together and things started running around. Or for some reason, a warlock would cast fear on somebody, and next thing you know, that person runs off, triggers the other people, and then they trigger their people, and then it's like leads to a cascading nonsensical event. But I just remember that would happen. I said, oh, click play dead, and once everything was all ran away from you, you just got back up, and I'll be like, I just sat down, ate my little bread and cheese while everyone was coming back, like running back to the dungeon. Yeah, that was a time. I played in Burning Crusade. I loved it. And then, oh man, when I say this, one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had to date was the release of Wrath of the Lich King, and like just playing through Wrath of the Lich King. Even to this day, I can say, oh no, Abyssinia, no! No, they lost Blemia! I might have to do an intervention down here. Oh no. They're actually surrounded on all sides. I wish I could give you protector status. I don't want Abyssinia to die. It's like the King Bishop, the headless of Abyssinia. What the hell happened? I don't know. I need to stop Blemia. If I have to break this kingdom up, I will. Oh no. I don't think Abyssinia is long for this world. Oh no, and then his truce with them ends at 39 days. Oh, we're gonna see the end of Ethiopia, guys. Sad times. But going back to like Wrath of the Lich King, I consider that in my... I just wanted to say I absolutely loved Wrath of the Lich King. It was, to me, the perfect example of like the perfect expansion. It expanded the story. It expanded like the options. The expansion actually felt like it had a purpose to me. Like everything felt unique. And well, I guess Paradox did not agree with me with Wrath of the Lich King. Well, I suppose we'll be right back. Alright guys, we are back. Sent us back here at the beginning of this year, apparently, to this event. So let's in that. So where was I? So what was I saying? Okay, I was talking about Wrath of the Lich King and all that good stuff. So again, I really love Wrath of the King. Like, you had the new Continental Northrend, you had all the new like locations in the new character class. That was the one where the Death Knights were incredibly freaking broken, especially around the time of Wrath of the Lich King's release. It was fun. I had fun. It was amazing, and I actually gave a damn about the story. Like Burning Crusade, I gave a damn. In the regular World of Warcraft, like the default game, there wasn't really much of an overarching story. It was, of course, it was just like, you know, at the time, the basic thing with like the Horde versus the Alliance, and you know, they touched upon like certain stuff, but like there wasn't no overarching plot. I guess you could like what the Nexia nonsense and stuff. I guess you could kind of say that was overarching plot, and then like, you know, then the end of like the, what was it, the Encourage event, those did have like, you know, grounding and like, you know, massive things happening, but those were like um more of like the end of like the original one's lifespan, and that was just before my time with the game. But here at Wrath of Lich King, I actually care. I actually love like the character Arthas Menethil in Warcraft lore. To me, I was like, okay, he was like the cool fallen hero character, and I actually care because he was connected to so many events in in the World of Warcraft is surrounding his character that I actually really liked him. He, like, you know, the fallen prince of Lordaeron. He was in love with Jaina Proudmoore, who was like a powerful mage in the lore of the universe, and you know, everything, his character to me was just cool. I liked that he actually had good development. And then the Wrath of the Lich King, they paced it out where, you know, the Lich King was just this booming threat over in Northrend. Like, he was like, anytime you saw the Lich King on screen, it was like, oh, shit's about to go down. Things are about to get crazy. What is going on? Like, I was like, oh yeah, really into it. And I actually cared. Everything about it I loved. And then you had the events where it was like the raid on Ice Crown Citadel, which was like, you know, basically the final boss on the Lich King. And I had so much fun. That was like the first raid I ever did where I gave a damn. All the other ones I've been to, I was like, oh yeah, they're fun. Look at me. We're going to have like some fun doing a raid. And, you know, I wouldn't really have like that much, like make it a big deal. I'll be like, yeah, it was fun. I would always prepare for raid. But here, I actually gave a damn. And the one thing I would say, wait, let me see if I can find that girl again. Here you are. Marry him. I just want to like, just bottom line, I really enjoyed Wrath of the Lich King. All the locations there, I love to go to. I never felt annoyed. I never felt like, I never had that feeling I did with Outland where like it just felt like the thing was dragging on. Okay, you know, it kind of did at some parts, but that was mostly because, like, again, when you get to, like, near the level cap, they kind of made it, you know, take longer and longer to progressively level up. But at the same time, I actually cared about the content. I didn't really care about it. I was like, oh, I do a couple levels here, couple levels there. And what was it? Storm Peaks. I freaking love the Storm Peaks over there, especially, like, the soundtrack they had there was like it was like I loved it. All the locations there, I never felt like it was a chore, and that was the thing that really like that really spoke out to me. Nothing I did in Wrath of the Lich King felt like a chore, but oh my god, hang on a second. Girl, maybe you would have been a better warrior. I kind of went down the intrigue route to see if you would be a... Well, maybe, you know, she's not of age yet. She'll probably get like a huge boost. Oh shit. Because I wasn't paying attention. Oh god, this was my fault. I wasn't paying attention when I was... Oh well, I can still make it work. We can still make it work. Oh god, but she would probably get stressed out. I am so sorry, Roxana. Yeah, I am so sorry. I really should have paid attention to that. That was my bad. I'll try to make it work with her, though. Don't worry. Yeah, Wrath of the Lich King. Bottom line, I really love the expansion. I love the characters. I love the content. I actually felt it. I kind of felt sad that they got rid of the Lich King because he was one of the major villains of the lore. But at the same time, I was like, okay, like, yeah, even though they got rid of him, it still felt like it was a nice story. I loved everything, the flow of the content and everything. I wish he was still alive. like, you know, the Lich King was still there as like one of the threats in the background, but at least they gave him a proper send off, and that's the most anybody could ask for, like a villain they love. Yeah, as much as that sounds kind of messed up, yeah, they gave him at least a proper send off, in my opinion. But then right after that, there was, oh boy, Cataclysm. Where do I begin with that? I don't know what the general consensus is for Cataclysm, but my general consensus was I hated it. Like, I hated everything about it. Wait, you lost against for where? Oh, that little bit of land. You guys need to connect the Outlands over here, like for me. But where do I truly begin with Cataclysm? Cataclysm, it started out and I was like, ooh, this looks cool. You know, you gotta deal with like another lore villain that just appears once again. Though I wish he would have appeared for, well, actually no, that would have actually had a retroactively bad effect on me. Never mind. But you had to deal with Deathwing, or what was his name? I can't remember his actual pronunciation. It's like Nefarion instead, or some nonsense like that. Deathwing, the original Black Dragon leader of the Black Dragon Flight and stuff. And it was like, oh yeah, the world of Azeroth is reshaped forever. Deathwing has erupted back on the world, and with his power over the earth, he managed to reshape Azeroth with volcanoes and shit. And I was like, okay, cool. Where do we begin? So we start. I played it, and I was like, okay, this isn't bad. But the thing about it was like, okay, we're gonna add some new characters. Or new races you could play as. The Worgen for the Alliance, and then the Goblins for the Horde. And I honestly was like, okay, cool. So the Alliance gets like their own beast like variation, and the Horde get like another humanoid variation, because I guess like if it makes sense lore wise with Gilneans and stuff and all that, like the Worgen curse. I'm like, okay, cool. You got the Bilgewater Cartel with the Horde. So my thing about it was, starting out, it was okay, but then it quickly went on to like, okay, the areas I loved in World of Warcraft were changed irreversibly. And I'm like, whoa, it's been changed irreversibly. And it's just, they changed the way to flow the level, and I honestly hated all of the changes they did to like the original world. And it's like, oh yeah, you can use flying mounts now in like the original world of Azeroth, because we finished that unfinished crap that's been in the game since the beginning. And okay, cool, you fixed it, but at the cost of like some of the leveling zones I loved going into, they changed, and some of them became like really high level and stuff. So I was like, okay, like, you know, we just get to go to the new territories, but the story, I did not care. I like, that was the one thing, that was the first thing that hit me in that expansion. I did not care about the story. I did not care about Deathwing coming back and the Dragonflights like stopping him. It was like, oh, we all have to give up our immortality and put it in the dragon soul to defeat Deathwing because he keeps whooping our ass. And it's like, okay, I don't care. Like, to me, like, it was like, come on, like, let's just get to the next part. And then I did everything. I didn't even bother with the in-game content. I just reached level 85 and I was like, okay, I'm done. And that's when I ended my subscription shortly afterwards. I leveled up a couple characters after that, but it was mostly just to like level them up for leveling up's sake, and I just left it alone. I stopped playing it afterwards because I did not care about any of the content. I hated what they did to the world, and I honestly, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. With like, after, and again, in my opinion, after like the amazingness of Wrath of the Lich King, I had to deal with like the BS of Cataclysm. I did not care. I honestly stopped caring about the game, and I just like left because it was one of those things where I didn't really feel like worrying about most of that nonsense anymore, so I just left it alone. But then, why are you taking that county? I really wanted to keep him alive. You live this time, Basilius. This time. But the Cataclysm was so bad, it made me not even bother doing Mists of Pandaria, which, looking back, was a huge mistake, because when I replayed World of Warcraft and I actually played Mists of Pandaria expansion, that made me care. Like, I actually cared about Pandaria. I actually cared. Like Pandaria to me was beautiful. It was a completely different setting. It was like, okay, so you got the European setting and then the tribal setting, of the Horde and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. But at least Pandaria mixed it up by giving you some Far East locales, characters, and things to break up the monotony of the world. I actually enjoyed that. Here's the thing. I didn't play World of Warcraft again until just before, a few months before Shadowlands came out. It was Shadowlands was announced. A couple of friends were like, oh man, Shadowlands is out. Maybe we should play World of Warcraft. Some didn't play it before. And I was like, we could definitely start playing it, get into it, so we could actually, prepare for the new expansion. So, oh my, I had you in prison the whole time? And give me 250 gold for your wife? Okay. This is your daughter? Who is she to you? Oh, your grandchild. Oh. Hang on. You can get her too. But that was the thing. I was like, okay, so we hopped back into World of Warcraft. I was like, let me give the other expansions a try, because I completely passed up on several expansions. So after I did, I completely, it all came back, flowing back to me. When I started playing the game again, it all started flowing back to me. I played everything, and then when you get to Wrath of the Lich King, it gives you a choice. I was like, ooh, do you want to play Cataclysm or Mists of Pandaria? And I was like, okay, I hated Cataclysm, so let me give Mists of Pandaria a chance. The chance I never gave it originally, because Cataclysm to me just ruined it. And so when I played it, I was like, wow, this is actually, I said it was a good expansion. I don't know, again, what the general consensus was for it, but I was like, man, this was fun. I like these characters. I actually like the world, the new continent and stuff. I actually care about what's going on here. That was the thing. And I was like, man, I haven't felt like that since Wrath of the Lich King. And I actually enjoyed Pandaria. But because of the new system they had, it was a couple levels there. Then it was like, whoa, do you want to go to the other new expansions? And I was like, what was the next one? It was Warlords of Draenor. And oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I know I'm going on a Warcraft rant right now, playing Crusader Kings 3. That's probably why it caused my Jester to die. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think my Jester. She heard Warlords of Draenor and it caused her to die. So I guess that could show you what my opinion of it was. Man, Mists of Pandaria was good, but then they had the part where they were dragging a plot point from all the way from freaking Burning Crusade with Garrosh Hellscream and whatnot. They were dragging it on. I was like, yeah, they have to say what criticism about Wrath of the Lich King. They were like, oh, how is Garrosh Hellscream? He's such a tyrant and blah, blah, blah. And how it led to... Basically, here's what my opinion of it was. Mists of Pandaria, he became a complete nut job and then kind of did really stupid things. And then it was just to set up for Warlords of Draenor. And then they did what I consider one of the the biggest mistake you can make in any universe. Any universe that dabbles with time travel, and it's kind of done in a haphazard way. It is the most terrible, the most inexcusable thing you could do, just to, oh, how can we retcon something without saying we retconned it? Let's do time travel. And it's oh my god. When they did time travel, and then it was oh, Golden. If you don't know World of Warcraft, just know Golden was just an ass who was from the original RTS series, and he was a character. He was a warlock. Let's just say he was an orc warlock that played God, and next thing you know, everything pissed in his face. But man, oh man, when I say they were like, oh, Garrosh Hellscream went back in time to stop his father from drinking the blood of Manaroth. I am saying all this lore nonsensical stuff, and people are probably like, what the hell is he talking about? Is he having a stroke? Well, yes and no. I am just saying that was like, just, in my opinion, stupid. I was like, okay, it's a decent plot point if you want to have it as like a one-off adventure thing. But then when you say, oh, we're going to build a whole expansion about time traveling and fucking the lore up the ass, excuse my French, and like just reconstructing this nonsense afterwards, I was like, you guys, they, again, in my opinion, created such a mess of everything that it was like, I hated Warlords of Draenor because it was, again, I had the same feelings I had in Cataclysm. I didn't care about anything, and I was like, okay, I gave it a chance. I was like, maybe it won't be as bad. I just found it boring as all hell. Like, Cataclysm, it wasn't boring to me. It was just like, it was just stupid. And like, if I say, I have fun playing it at some parts, but the overarching feeling I had during Cataclysm was that it was just stupid. In Warlords of Draenor, I had the feeling that it was like not only stupid. Oh, Poland, how are you doing? Poland's here, everyone. My King Scissorpan. Nice crown, you loser. But yeah, Poland, everyone. Poland. Anyway, getting sidetracked with my ADD, but the freaking, oh man. How do I, will you pay for these damages? Inexcusable host. Why is everyone naked? Who is this woman? The Kneeler? The Agrabot? They were having a party. You gain late legendary party aftermath. Let's leave the hall. Let's just leave the hall. Let them have like their party. Let them get stressed out. But yeah, oh my god, it was like, remember how we redone Azeroth and Kalimdor? Well, guess what, everyone? We redone Outland. Again, the game doesn't like that. It just died on me once more. Oh my god, it really does not. Like, every time I say something about an expansion, it just dies. Okay, guys, we are back again. I think if I had to guess why it's crashing, because every time it loads back up to like this date, it gives me an event for someone, like this woman, to repair my goods. And I think there might be something wrong with, like, I don't know, I guess like a seed or something with one of these events. Like, it just keeps like getting hanged up on this like stupid repair your item event. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. Hopefully it won't happen this time again. But to end my last chain of thought, which would have been like a few seconds for you, I just want to end it with saying, yeah, Warlords of Draenor for World of Warcraft was shite. It's like there was nothing good. It was like, oh, Garrosh Hellscream went back in time, and like he freed the he stopped the orcs from drinking the demon blood, and next thing you know, he turned them into an army and called it the Iron Horde, and he used them to go like forward in time, like to somehow he went forward in time, like he went back in time, changed the past, which somehow changed, like didn't change the future he was like he just left from. And it was like, oh well, you know what, I don't even want to hear, like, even if they probably came up with some bullshit excuse for that to me was just unacceptable, because it's like, he went back in time to change the past, but it didn't really change the future. So he used this new army, but it was like, oh, but Outland, it's a different, like, universe. I mean, a portal. Outland is just a different planet in the Warcraft lore. It's not like he went to a different universe unless it was like the dimensional, like, beams crossed, and next thing you know, the Iron Horde exists in our timeline and whatnot. I honestly could not give a damn what the excuse was. It was just to be stupid. But afterwards, they kind of came back a bit with Legion. Now, what is my main hang up with Legion? Well, I actually liked Legion to like. I was like, okay, it's pretty fun. Like they had like a good starting setup to Legion. The thing was, the thing was, I know I am going on a too long rant, and nobody wants to hear that. They just want to see me go Crusader Kings and just like fight Temujin over here, who I'm letting expand out of control. Don't worry, I'll get rid of Temujin soon. Just give me a little bit of time. He will die. Just give me a little bit of time. But my main hang up with Legion was, if anything, Legion, in my opinion, should have been like a final expansion to World of Warcraft. It should have been like the last one, make it big, boom, bombastic and stuff. But because the main villain of Legion was the leader of the Burning Legion, Sargeras. And the Burning Legion is like this army, like this practically endless army of demons that constantly, even if you kill them, they just spawn back in the Nether and then like, you know, come back and fight more. So they never truly die, especially with the power of Sargeras, who was a fallen titan, who was another major group of people who basically created the worlds of Azeroth and whatnot. They completely pissed all of that away for saying, you know what, let's try to get rid of the Legion once and for all as a threat. Like, you know, the main threat of the universe we built for like over a decade now, we're just gonna like throw it all out the window and just say, call it even, Steven. We're gonna like make do with it. And what's my name for you? I'm gonna name you Abbott. What were you? You were going to be... Oh, you want to be a steward? Okay, well, Fickle is fine for you. So, they turned, like, the quote-unquote, the biggest, baddest villain in World of Warcraft. Oh, wow, you became the Lucis Shadow, even though I made you a terrible, 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 intriguing person. Don't worry, dear. I'll try to find a way to help you out. He's single. You can marry him. So they turn him into a big villain. Long story short, at the end, the big villain gets captured, sent to it gets imprisoned. And they also brought back another big villain in the lore, which was Illidan, because even though he basically died at the end of Burning Crusade, they brought him back because a character who actually had a good story arc that went along like since the RTS games. He was another fallen hero character. Even though he was more of an anti-hero character, he actually had an arc that came to an end and stuff, like with dealing with his brother. But you know, let's piss all that away and just bring him back, because why not? Like they went through the story-based method of nothing matters. What is that? What do I mean by that? Is at a certain point, writers of like certain franchises, they go like, they used to have discussions. They used to say, okay, let's do this for the characters. Let's have this character do that. Let's have everyone have like a good time and whatnot. But then at a certain point, when someday someone just comes into work and they be like, what do we do now? And then someone just says, you know what? Nothing matters. Nothing what we do here matters. So let's just do whatever we want, like however we want. They're like, is anything sacred anymore? No. And I'm not that super big of a like Warcraft fan, but I just felt like that was just stupid. They brought him back, and then like he was like, I'll be his jailer, when like the whole plot of like Burning Crusade was like his jailer was trying to hunt him down, and what was it, Maeve? I can't pronounce her name for the life of me, but Let me stop. It was just, I said they did the right thing, but then it was like also one of those things where like, oh, it's this Garrosh Hellscream, let's make Sylvanas be the villain for no goddamn reason. And it's like, okay, where are you guys going with this? Because they're doing like the same route they did with Garrosh, where yeah, Garrosh, at least there wasn't reasons behind them, but then it seems that Sylvanas just had like a heel turn partway through Wrath of the Lich King, and it was like revealed, like, you know, stuff, the events that happened in Wrath of the Lich King deeply affected her. There was nothing in the afterlife and blah 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 blah. And then it's like, okay, where do we lead to now? That leads to the next expansion, which was Battle for Azeroth, which is, hey, remember like the original purpose of World of Warcraft, which was basically just Horde and Alliance. And remember how like the past several expansions, the Horde and Alliance had like this uneasy, I don't know, mutual understanding about protecting the world from the constant nonsense that gets spewed out. Let's just rehash it again. But I have to say, Battle for Azeroth, I actually like the story and the characters and like new characters and stuff they added. And except Sylvanas, they completely pissed her character out the window, and it like, oh, I'm going to commit genocide now. I was like, okay, why? And it's like, oh, I see what you guys are doing. You're just plotting for the next expansion. You don't care. Like, that's what I felt like they did to World of Warcraft. At a certain point, it just seemed like Blizzard to me just stopped caring. Like nothing mattered to them anymore. And they say, oh, this just makes Sylvanas the villain, and then she's not really the villain in her expansion, and it's like all this stupid stuff, and she's gonna have a heel turn and blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, we already know this song and dance, Blizzard. Please, if you have the audacity, can you at least take me out to dinner before you try to fuck me? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm getting so worked up over it, but it just shows how much I actually cared for it, like for World of Warcraft. And I played Shadowlands. That was like my whole build up to like playing it over again. When I tell you I burned myself out replaying World of Warcraft, oh my god. I seriously did. I started again, but this time I was playing as the Horde because like everyone I was playing was like, oh yeah, let's join the Horde. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm cool with the Horde. And I created was Troll Hunter because I just love Hunter. I like just being a support DPS. I don't really care about, ooh, look at me, I'm a rogue. I can just like, you know, do backstab constantly and just like stack crits and nonsense. I just like being like background support where I'm not. I could pull damage when it was sad when I could pull more damage than like rogues and like heavy damage dealers like Fury Warriors and stuff as a freaking regular hunter. I kind of felt funny especially when my pets were like doing more damage than like some warriors and stuff at first. That was I really felt that was stupid. Like I really felt that was dumb. When a hunter pet can do better than like your character, that's really an issue on your part, buddy. But I was having fun. I burned myself out because one of the main things I did was because I saw like they had the new what they call it, the new alliance factions where it was like, oh yeah, we added like was it the Zandalari Trolls, the Volpera, and was it? Oh yeah, and then there was the one thing that were like night elves, but they weren't night elves. They were like I can't remember, Nightborn. I think that's what they were called. But I was like, okay. So as a Horde, I basically spammed the hell out of like doing reputation quests, the dailies and stuff, and I unlocked all the Horde allied races. And after that I burned myself out because I was just constantly playing, constantly farming, trying to get those events. I even downloaded that stupid app on my phone to like check out, when like a faction event was happening to get some reps, like it boosts reputation to unlock the characters. I was like, man, jeez Louise, I burned myself out, but I had fun. I was like, oh yeah, I unlocked the Zandalari Trolls first because especially after constantly hearing Zandalar forever and King Rastakhan, the Emperor Rastakhan, or I can't remember. I was like, yeah, I have fun. I really loved Zandalari. Man, the Zandalari Trolls were awesome to me. And then the Volpera were just hilarious. They were like, yeah, we're little cute fox people, but like, everyone loves the little cute fox people. Even though to me, they were... they were just something. And then the Nightborn, they were like the first people I unlocked because they were like the easiest, because you just do their faction quest line, and next thing you know, you just do a couple dailies and you unlock them pretty much. The Volpera were the one that was the most annoying to unlock. Zandalar, at least they had like an entire quest line. Volpera, they had a quest line too, but it wasn't to the extent of the Zandalari Trolls or the Nightborn. So you had to really grind them. But at the end of the day, I had fun like building characters. I gave half a damn about the story in some parts, but I could not care less in other parts. But I really thought, I had some fun in Battle for Azeroth, so I said, okay, maybe Shadowlands will be better. Maybe. Oh man, I rated, Shadowlands came out, boom, went all the way to Icecrown Citadel, boom, did the initial stuff. I was like, okay, caught my attention. All right, crazy quest, crazy like things are happening. Oh, you got a battle, like everyone's invaded the Shadowlands for the first time. It's like, it's cool, epicness, things are going on. I was like, okay, this got off to a good start. Then you get to the first hub world. I don't remember what it was called because that gives you a sign of how little I played it. It was like this hub world you go to. That was like Shattrath and Burning Crusade. I went there, and when I tell you there was nearly, I kid you not, you go there after like doing like all these action quests and stuff, like action packed back to back, whoop de whoop, and then you have to deal with, okay, going from that stuff, and then next thing you know, you get to like the hub world, and then you spent, I kid you not, I swear, I spent like about between 45 minutes to an hour listening to people talking about stuff, and it was like, things are happening. Things are happening. Things are happening. Things are happening. I'm like, okay, you're just saying things are happening. Can I actually do something to make other things happen? And they're like, no, because things are happening. I'm like, oh God, here we go. So after listening to them ramble on about something for God knows how long, I finally got into like the first world where we're like these blue giant people. I could, like, sounds like bad, but I really could care less about the world of the Shadowlands. It was like basically the afterlife, but then the afterlife was split into several different sections. There was like undead necromancy, like weird section ruled by someone and whatnot. I think what was it? Corona half Orkin was there. I think I want to say that was her. If it wasn't her, no, that was Thrall's mother, I think. I don't remember. It was like such a long time, and it was like I couldn't care less. Then it was like the Blue Giant world, and then they had like this other world, but everyone was like, oh, things are happening, and I was like, there was no agency. You dropped that action part way too early, way too quickly, and then you put like a hard roadblock. It was like a straight roadblock saying, oh yeah, remember all that action you just did like a few minutes ago, like invading the Shadowlands for the first time? Now you have to listen to us ramble on about bullshit like you guys are listening to me now ramble on about bullshit. I did not have a pleasant time, and I got bored and I stopped playing it. And I didn't even get to the end content. That was like the quickest I ever dropped an expansion for WoW. At least with Cataclysm, I did it. I stuck it out all the way to the end, and like, I tried. And then the other ones I took taste of, and I also did their storylines until the end because, like, Mr. Pandaria, I enjoyed it. I did like their whole quest line. Burning Legion, or I did the entire quest line for that. Battle for Azeroth, hell, I did the entire quest line for that because that was like the most recent one to have been released before Shadowlands. But then Shadowlands, I dropped it literally before I even got like anywhere deep in. And I know some of my friends were like, oh, it kind of got a little bit better. It was still, the consensus was it wasn't worth it. Oh man. And I felt so sad because I was like, man, I actually did all of this just to get back into World of Warcraft, and then the new expansion, that made me want to get back in the game, bombed to me so hard. I just did not care to like even like bother with the quest lines, the characters. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go play Crusader Kings. At least here I have like a lot more fun than I did. And then hell, I had way more fun in like Crusader Kings 2 Guardians of Azeroth than I ever did in freaking Shadowlands 1,000 times over. And that's why I can't wait to finish that. But you know what? With all these parts I have to stitch together, I think I'm gonna have to wrap this video up right here, because I think this one's probably gonna be like about an hour long. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed my freaking Warcraft rant. I hope I did not scare anyone away. Chances are I did. If so, I'm sorry if you're still here. But I hope you guys at least enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more. And when we return, hopefully the remaining bits over here, I will complete our main overarching objective of restoring the Achaemenid Empire to its glory. We actually did way better than what they did historically, especially with the conquest of Arabia and whatever the hell my vassals are doing over here, and the fact that we also conquered Greece and everything and got revenge. Holla. But yeah, right. You can definitely see I gotta get rid of you. Unless you convert, I'm gonna have to get rid of you, Temujin. Kataria, you're getting close to bordering me. So, technically you do border me. Technically you actually killed. I need to free my people here. Temujin, I think I have to probably free. Fortunately, his sons came a bit pretty old. Yeah, I gotta get ready to free my people, Temujin. They're mighty big. There's only been room enough for one great empire in this world, and that's definitely gonna be mine. So without further ado, I hope to see you guys again soon. This is SoloSupreme, and have a great day, folks. Oh man, maybe next time I'll ramble about Warhammer 2, like Total War Warhammer 2. Yay!
Now this one is pure niceness.